What is the worst thing you have found on someone else's phone?
I found a phone and looked through the photos and found a picture of the guy holding his dick, but it was next to one of those tiny cans of Coke you get on planes. I have no idea why, but I assume he was trying to trick someone into thinking his dick was a regular Coke can size.
Had a client showing me a picture of a haircut they wanted. I was hovering behind him as he was flipping through pictures, and the next one to the haircut ended up being what I assume was him, but his asshole wide open and googly eyes on his cheeks, bent over like the autocock meme. This was the day I learned never look at the phone until the customer has their picture up and ready.
CP. For a guy that was a coach of a girls' soccer team and had cams. Not sure if he went to jail or not, but he was reported as he was a federal employee.
That my best friend's recently deceased husband had been cheating on her with men their entire relationship. She was standing over my shoulder reading, as we made the discovery together.
Photos of my own diary. My ex-boyfriend had taken pictures of every entry from when I was a kid and sent them all to my parents.
I was 15. Found messages on my mother's phone about her failed suicide attempts and how she never wanted her kids to know about them. Didn't speak a word about what I saw, internalized the fear. She successfully took her life less than a year later.
Multiple messages on various chat apps on ex's phone. Not just messages to other women, but also chatting with teenage girls in explicit and derogatory ways. Also, trying to meet up with a 16-year-old. When confronted, he said he was never going to act on any of it. And it was my fault as the relationship was going downhill and he was sexually frustrated. Oh, and photos of me naked and passed out, very early in the relationship.
I found a plethora of nudes of my friends and several other boys and girls at our high school, including mine. My friends and I never sent him nudes, nor did we have any sexual/romantic interest in this person. I assume the same for the others.
My ex-wife's iTunes on her iPhone was actually my account that I set up for my iPad. She was just too lazy to set up a new account. So I told her if she did that her iMessages would come through to my iPad. She said she didn't care until she started cheating on me and I got the texts directly to my iPad.
I found out my wife is dying after I read messages exchanged between her and her sister. I guess she was too afraid to tell me just yet. I waited till she wanted to tell me on her own before I told her that I had seen the messages and had already known.
Emails of my ex trying to meet women from Craigslist for sex.
I used to work with a chick who took her husband's phone to work by mistake. While showing a bunch of people photos of her kids, she stumbled across a nature folder and clicked it. The folder was full of CP. I watched as the blood drained out of her face and she became visibly pale and then sick. She threw up. I've never seen someone's emotions/skin color change up so quick. It scared the shit out of me. I remember hearing her scream and cry while talking to the cops. When her husband arrived with her phone, they slapped the cuffs on him and he confessed on the spot.
I was trying to help my friend change their phone case and a cockroach fell out.
An app that allowed a married man to control a vibrator my GF was wearing while around me.
I had just finished having sex with my GF at the time. Literally, right after finishing she turns over and sends a text, then got up to go to the bathroom. The person responded with, "So you finished up with him, when is he leaving?" It was the dude she was cheating on me with.
My boss telling his second in command all the things he loved doing to her during their affair. Her phone was just on the table and up popped the message. I wish I'd not read it.
My dad died about a year and a half ago in a car accident. I went through his phone after he passed and he had taken pictures of the bay near where he grew up the morning of his accident, and he had a half-written text message to me making plans to see me for Christmas. It's not like those things are shocking or awful in the way CP or whatever is, but it's shocking and awful in a way that it's a view into a life cut short. It was 2 days before Christmas and he was reminiscing about his childhood and planning with his children, and it all just ended in the blink of an eye. It guts me every time I think about it.
When I worked at a movie theater, a customer came up to scan his digital ticket. He accidentally swipes the image of the ticket into a really high-def pic of a vagina with presumably cum coming out of it. All he could say was, "Oh wow. How did that get there? Ha ha."
A picture of my sex toy up his butt, sent to another girl.
I was helping a tech-challenged friend move everything from an old phone to a new one. His most recent photo was his hard dick against the bong we all shared when we smoked at his place. I no longer use his smoking devices.
My boss was computer illiterate. One day she asks me to help fix something on her cell phone. She did this from time to time. Fix her phone. Fix her kid's phone. Whatever. One day she asks me to change how messages appear. She gives me a phone and in her messages is a message that says, "Stay the fuck away from my husband. You were just a whore for him to fuck and I won't let you hurt our family anymore." Not entirely sure if she sent it or received it. Either way, yikes.
A friend once handed me a thumb drive to get a document. It had several full frontal nudes of him. He was, and is, a large-built man. Think of a moderately tall Oompa Loompa. Fat hides a lot of your pecker, but there was still a bit of it sticking out.
Not a phone. But I used to work IT for a mid-sized corporation. An executive handed me his computer once to fix some issue and had left open a spreadsheet with every employee's pay a rough way to find out I was the lowest paid person in the company. But good motivation to move on.
My nudes that I did not send to them.
Not me, but a bartender friend of mine found a phone unlocked on the bar and couldn't locate its owner, so he punched in his own phone number and found out he was already in the contacts as Creepy J.
I was excited to tell the story about how my date handed me his phone to show me a picture, and it was followed by about 10 dick pics of different dicks. He was a rugby player and apparently he left his phone on the bus. This is what his teammates did to his unattended phone. But after reading all these terrible stories, I am not sure this was the kind of story you were looking for at it. Thanks for all the awards and upvotes. I wasn't expecting this comment to blow up the way it did. Also, maybe he was gay, I don't know. He was a crazy guy, didn't give too many fucks about anything. All I know is that in rugby, hardly anything is ever gay.
Damn, I came here to hear stories of infidelity. But learned some people are fucking monsters.
Before we were dating, my girlfriend showed me a conversation from Tinder with a guy who wanted to pay to touch/sniff her feet. She never actually met up with him, but would kinda string him along a bit because the messages were funny to read. Anyway, I scrolled down just a little and he said something like 1K to sniff your butthole.
I'm a dental hygienist. A long-term patient of mine wanted to show me pictures of he and his fiance's new puppy. Instead, he showed me 2 dick pics upside down face.
I thought I love you texts on my mom's phone to my boyfriend's dad, while my parents were still together. Edit for context, my boyfriend and I have been together since 2017. This whole ordeal happened 2020. My BF and I are waiting it out until we move out of town, lol. I did confront my mom and she told me to keep it a secret until after she got back from camping. Camping spot was 10 minutes away from boyfriend's dad's house, by the way. They separated shortly after. But then my mom and my boyfriend's dad moved in together while my dad, boyfriend, and I were all living in the same house.